Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Recaps. I know this video is late. I had to push it back several times. I had things to do over the long weekend, but I'm here now, and we're here to talk about some box office. So, the month of June, how did it go? Well, it happened. That's the nicest thing I can say about it. Yeah, June was pretty lackluster, all things considered. There was no real exciting movie until the very end of the month with F9. So it was basically the same as last month with May, where the only movie that anybody actually gave a shit about came out at the very end of the month. And the rest of the month was just filled with mid level movies that really weren't going to set the world on fire. And that's exactly what happened in June. Now, when it comes to my predictions for all the June movies, all six of them, I was on the money with three of them. One of them I was on the money with the weekend, but not the total. And the other two, oh my god, I I failed so hard at them. But we'll get to those in a bit. But first, let's go through these in order. So, the beginning of June, we start out with Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, aka Conjuring 3, and Spirit Untamed. So, Conjuring 3, I predicted it would open between 20 to 25 million and make between 60 to 70 million. That was what I thought was going to happen. And it turns out that's exactly what happened. I was extremely accurate with this prediction. Now, I knew for a fact this Conjuring movie was not going to do as well as the other two main ones, mainly because the series, I mean, how many movies are in this series? Eight, last I checked. There's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight now. So obviously, franchise fatigue was going to set in at some point. And also, the whole HBO Max thing makes things even more complicated, but it at least made more money than Curse of La Llorona, so it has that going for it. And this movie wasn't super expensive; it only cost like 40 million, made four times its budget. It's gonna make a profit, so there's no reason to even be concerned about this movie. And I know this series is gonna continue whether we want it to or not. So yeah, I mean, for all you Conjuring fans that are still there, well, you're likely going to get more of these, but for everybody else, we're just going to have to deal with it. So, yeah, but at least it was successful, relatively successful. So, yeah, it's better than having a flop. And it was the second most successful movie of the month behind the obvious one, F9. All right, what else? Oh yeah, Spirit Untamed. I predicted it would open at like 5 million and make between 15 to 20 million total. And like Conjuring 3, I was right on the money. It's currently at $16.9 million domestically. I'm not surprised about this because nobody cared about this movie at all. It just, it didn't feel theatrical in the slightest. It didn't feel like an event movie, and also had a very limited appeal. Like this movie appealed to young girls, and that's it. Now, young girls, they can fuel movies. They can fuel box office. I mean, look at the Twilight series or a Pitch Perfect or majority of Disney princess movies, okay? The young girl market, the young girl demographic can be extremely reliable, but only when they actually care about the movie. If they don't care, then it's game over. And that's what happened to Spirit Untamed. So yeah, I'm not surprised about this result. Uh yeah, literally nothing else to say about Spirit Untamed. So that was the first of the month. That was June 4th. June 11th, well, 10th and 11th, two of the biggest stains on my box office prediction track record, at least from my memory. In the Heights and Peter Rabbit 2. Okay, first things first, In the Heights. Oh man, I took the biggest L in history by saying it was going to open to like $30 million. It was going to make 100 million overall. It didn't even make 30 million total. it oh my gosh. And the thing I said, oh, it'll have long legs because musicals have long legs, that didn't come true either. The movie fell off a cliff after the first weekend. So yeah, I guess at the time I thought that Lin Manuel Miranda, his fan base would fuel the movie. It would, help it succeed. I was dead wrong. I guess, his fan base, they only give a shit about Hamilton and nothing else. Like anything not called Hamilton means nothing to them. So yeah, there's that. And I guess part of me thought, with the movie, with the whole feel, the whole positive energy would kind of fuel it because people need like a super positive movie. Then that didn't come to fruition either. So people just like sadness, or they just like um something a bit less. I know some people. How do I describe this? I know there have been people out there that have called this movie, woke and whatnot. I mean, it's not as blatant, like straight up, like in your face, like as subtle as the sledgehammer. I say, I don't know, a Black Christmas 2019 or Charlie's Angels 2019 or Terminator Dark Fate. Like those were far more obvious to me. But this, I could like, ugh, I'm losing my words. Like Warner Brothers, I can tell what they were trying to do. They were trying to go after the Latino market, right? Similar to how they went after the Asian market with Crazy Rich Asians, which coincidentally the same dude who directed that directed this. And it just didn't work. Sometimes when you try to reach a certain market, they just don't gravitate towards it. They just don't. It's not a guarantee. It's never a guarantee. So, yeah, like, yeah, this was the biggest failure of my, of probably all my box office predictions I've made on the channel. And yeah, ugh, yeah, it was a big old flop. And it didn't even do well on HBO Max either. It did terrible there too. So this movie's a straight up an undisputed disaster. Easily the biggest fail of the whole month by far. And then the same weekend we had Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway. I thought this would open to like 15 to 20 million, make 50 to 60 million. Not the case. Not the case at all. It's only made 34 million so far. Open to like 10 million. So this movie's only gonna make, I don't think it's gonna make half as much as the first movie, which is terrible for a sequel, but not too uncommon for family sequels. I know plenty of family sequels that fell off hard in comparison to their predecessors. So this isn't too surprising. I knew this would dip, but I didn't expect it to dip this much. But you know what? Maybe this is karma. This is karma for, making me talk about this movie ad nauseum repeatedly so many times with the canceled series. I was so sick and done with this movie. I secretly hoped it wouldn't do well internally. And it didn't do well. It didn't do well, at least domestically. Overseas will save it. but domestically it did bad. So I'm happy about that, at least. But yeah, Peter Rabbit 2, I never have to talk about you ever again. Thank God. Because, goddamn, I'm getting flashbacks just mentioning this movie over and over and over again. Ugh. And anywho, yeah, that's it for the weekend of June 11th. Definitely not my finest hour when it comes to predicting box office for movies. Next weekend, Hitman's Wife's Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Now my prediction, I said it would open to like 10 to 15 for the 3 day, 15 to 20 for the 5 day because it's open on a Wednesday. That indeed happened. Open with like 11 million for the 3 day. And let me look. Its first 5 days, 16 million for the 5 day. So I was right on that. I was wrong when it came to its legs. For some reason, I thought its legs would be a lot longer. I thought it would make like 50 million, but it's currently made 31 million. At this point in time, it should at least make half as much as the original, which still is bad, but it could have been worse, I guess. And when it comes to like action movies, well like we're talking like non big budget action movies. I think this is done the best of the bunch, I think, which isn't saying a whole lot because 31 million is not a lot in the grand scheme of anything unless you're like a small indie movie or something. But yeah, I suspected this would deal with sequelitis because this movie. Did anyone really ask for a sequel? Did anyone want a sequel to Hitman's Bodyguard that badly? I don't think so. I feel like this movie was made more out of obligation and less out of love for the original movie. And yeah, people just didn't gravitate towards it at all. So yeah. I don't think we're gonna get a third one. I'm pretty sure that's a guaranteed. We're not gonna see Hitman's Wife's. What could even come after Hitman's Wife's? Like Hitman's Wife's friend's bodyguard or something stupid like that. I don't know, but yeah, yeah, that was the only movie that came out that weekend. Originally, Luca was supposed to come out this weekend. That weekend, that was the plan before Disney decided to torpedo it entirely and move it to Disney Plus for free if you already have Disney Plus. So that definitely cost the box office some potential dollars. Would have it done great? I doubt it because I've seen Luca. I watched it when it came out. I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. It just felt very lightweight for Pixar standards. Like it just felt kind of forgettable. And literally after that, I watched Soul for the first time. That was felt a lot more theatrical and a lot more memorable than Luca ever was. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, if Luca came out, the box office would have made a bit more money, probably close to 100 million more. But what happened, and there's nothing we can do about it. And then at the end of the month, the savior of June, F9, The Fast, The Saga. So, F9. I knew this would be the biggest hit of the month. I'm pretty sure everyone on planet Earth knew that was going to happen. I knew it would open bigger than Quiet Place 2. And that, well, ugh. Sorry about that. My mind just kind of went off someplace. Yeah, I knew it was going to open bigger than Quiet Place 2. I knew it would have the biggest opening weekend of the pandemic era, and I was right. Open with 70 million. I thought it would open between 60 to 70 million. made a bit more than that. In the 2 weeks it's been out, it's made 115 million. At its current pace, it's going to reach my original prediction of 150 to 160. I think that's achievable, more than achievable. So I guess we can consider it a success, a relative success, that we have a movie opening this big in this era. But I guess the next test is going to be Black Widow, which will be this weekend. That I think is going to really show if movies can open, like, we're talking close to 100 million. I'm not saying Black Widow is going to reach 100 million, but at least close enough to it to where it's possible again. Yeah, F9, it's, I mean, with the past few months, with like Godzilla vs. Kong, then Quiet Place 2, then F9, we are making some major strides towards former box office glory. Like, we really are. And, F9 is just another step towards the goal of pre-pandemic box office numbers. And worldwide, it's not going to make as much as the previous movies. It's just not. But it will at least make its money back. It should, at least. It'll probably make its money back. And I know there's going to be two more of these, which is just why. I ugh. And I know they're gonna go to space. They one from what I've heard, they do go into space in this movie, but I think probably the next one they're gonna go all the way with that idea, which probably just ugh. I don't know. It's if I don't know how to feel about Fast and Furious at this point. It feels like a dead carcass, but it's a carcass people are willing to pay money to see. So yeah, and it's helping the movie theaters stay alive, so I can't hate it that much. So, yeah. But that's it for June. I know not a whole lot of content. Don't blame me for that. So it was definitely, I guess in terms of raw dollars, it was the biggest month of the pandemic because some movies actually made more than single digit dollars. So, yeah, but it should get better from here, no doubt. I mean, look at this month, July. We already had some movies come out. They didn't do too great, but they're not super important. What's important is Black Widow. That movie is going to be a make or break for the whole month. Then after that, we got this thing called Quantity. This thing called Quantity when it comes to releases. We got Escape Room 2, Space Jam 2, Old, Snake Eyes, Green Knight, Jungle Cruise, Stillwater. We have quite a few movies coming out in July that I feel will really help the box office out. The biggest being Black Widow, obviously. Then August, we got similar things: Suicide Squad, Don't Breathe 2, Free Guy, all these, Candyman. And then the same goes for like September, October, November, December. Like the rest of the year is going to be filled to the brim with a lot of movies. Like we're not going to deal with just one movie every few weeks like we did earlier in the year, which is good. So, yeah, things will get a lot more exciting very soon. So, I guess be on the lookout for that. And all the videos I will inevitably make of those movies. I already made Boss Baby 2 and Forever Purge and Zola. So, yeah. Anywho, that is it. That is all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? I got a playlist on the homepage with all previous recap videos. The July recap will come out beginning of August. I shouldn't even say that at that point. But if you want to check out any of my past recap videos, you can go right ahead. It's also box office predictions, where I predict box office results for movies. This weekend, I do Black Widow. That should be a real interesting one considering the whole Disney Plus thing. And it should no doubt be the biggest movie of the pandemic yet, even more than F9. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that. But if you want to watch any of my past prediction videos from like 2021, 2020, 2019, you can go right ahead. There's also the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I just did an episode about Last Night in Soho and Down Abbey 2 moving. But that's episode 71. So if you want to watch any of the previous episodes, there's now, including the recent one, there's 71 now. If you want to watch any of those, that way you're up to date on what's going on with these movies, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.